The other day at the thrift store, I found these 3 point-and-shoot cameras for $1 each. And you might be thinking, wow, Tom, you are so lucky. $1 each, that's such a great deal. Not so fast. This one that I was the most excited about is completely bricked. I've tried 3 different batteries, and then at midnight, I decided I was gonna take it apart, and the plastic started to crumble like a Pringle that your mama sat on. This one, which I was also kind of excited about, has a completely destroyed LCD screen. And then this one, which I was the least excited about, takes a battery that I don't own. So later on, we're gonna go buy a battery and see if it works. So what are we going to do with the camera that I was the most excited about? Well, we're gonna make something cursed. So if you think that tearing apart this vintage point-and-shoot camera is sacrilegious, it's just, then I'll see you on the next one. Because we're about to make one of those stupid film camera cap lenses that you probably get advertised on Instagram every single day. And this one is hopefully gonna be better. The reason that this camera is a good option is because it sports a 35mm f2.8 lens, which I'm convinced is better than the little lenses that they put in those little film camera caps. And I genuinely don't know if this is even going to work. So if it doesn't work, then I just won't post this video and you'll never know about it. And the files will just haunt me on my hard drive for the next 10 years. Okay, so before we get started, let's talk about this little point and shoot. Kodak wanted to re-enter into the 35mm point and shoot market, so they bought a camera company called Chinon, or Chinon, I'm not entirely sure. This company made cheap point and shoot cameras and SLRs. They manufactured the Kodak Ektar VR35 K12, which sounds like a Japanese tuner car. And I'm sure it took really awesome pictures, but mine looks like it was actually dropped out of a car at some point. Okay, so this is a tutorial on how to properly take apart your Kodak Ektar VR35 K12. Yeah, you're gonna need a screwdriver. We're gonna just zip out all these screws that we can see that are visible. This screw is really rusty. We're gonna wanna figure out how to get this front cover off without doing too much damage. In cases like this, what I typically like to do is just the cover. And this is what the inside of this looks like. I would say that this camera got wet at one point. So that's why this camera doesn't work. Here is the optic. So we'll be able to thread this into a camera cap, and we might even try and take this little brass ring out. This is nice. Do you have any broken cameras that you want me to try and fix for you? Send them my way. Happy to look at it for you. Okay, so this is version number 1. It's not bad, it fits and it holds the glass, but the glass sits too close to the camera's sensor because it was originally designed to work with this camera. And that is called flange focal length. The flange focal length is not far enough away from the sensor. Let's say this is our sensor here, and this is the part that connects to your camera. We're going to just create more media here, and then this is where the lens is gonna mount. And this we're gonna make 5 millimeters. Okay, so while version 2 is printing, let's go pick up a battery for this camera, because I'm pretty confident that it's gonna work. And this little slide feature, kind of cool. So let's find out. All right, so I'm here at CVS. Let's see if they have a CR2 battery so that I can power up this camera and recoup some of that $3 that I spent on busted cameras. Okay, we are in luck. CVS had a CR2. They came in clutch. Let's put it into the camera and see what happens. Ho ho! What's good, my boy? We got a working LCD as well, so let's see here. We got the zoom. Okay, that is a very over-the-top zoom. Okay, so our print is finally done, and I got my new IQ Zoom 90MC. Unrelated to the topic of this video, but awesome. And now, okay, Tom, wow, great video so far. However, it seems like you're just guessing how far the lens needs to be away from your camera's sensor. Doesn't that seem a little bit inefficient? Yes, there's a little bit of guesswork when making a lens like this, but I can very easily illustrate for you why there's some guesswork involved here. This is a projector lens from another video that I've made. If you wanna watch that video, I'll link it right here, or maybe there. This lens is engineered to focus from a certain distance. This is the first mount that I made for that projector lens to attach it to my E-mount camera. Now, when pushed all the way back here, it sits too close to the camera's sensor. So when we turn it on, you can see here that nothing gets into focus at all. Obviously, when focusing to infinity, it's usually meant for, you know, further distances away, if I'm shooting across a football field or something, but this won't work under any circumstance at this distance from my camera's sensor. It really needs to be somewhere like here-ish. Now, the same is true for these little mounts and the little lens that is in that point-and-shoot camera. That point-and-shoot camera lens is too close to my sensor, nothing will focus. The goal here is to have this flange just the right distance off of the sensor so that whenever that glass is pulled all the way back, you can focus to infinity. So hopefully what I just said makes sense. Let's get on to version 3. Okay, so we destroyed one camera to make something new. What is that called, like upcycling? Well, we upcycled this. We upcycled this because we care. When editing photos you took with your disposable film camera lens, it kind of makes sense for them to sort of look like they were taken with film. That way you can trick your friends into thinking you used one of these, but in reality, you didn't. You just saved your money. And it's pretty easy too. When I want something to look like film, I just use film emulations. Here's a photo I took with my little lens of a 7-Eleven. Obviously, we need film emulations anytime we take pictures of 7-Elevens. I mean, check out these options. Now, this is from a service I have called Dehancer. They have tons of film emulations for their Lightroom plugin. There's film grain settings, bloom, halation, even tons of presets that you can just slap on a picture and make it look absolutely badass. And they have this same service for Premiere Pro too. That way you can control all of the same settings, but for video. So if you're interested in checking them out, click the link in the description of this video and use promo code SPIKER to save 10% on your monthly or annual subscription to Dehancer. Spiker, yeah, I bet you didn't think it was pronounced that way, did ya? Now let's go take some pics. All right, so we're out here in town. It's 52 out. I'm gonna take some street photography with my little DIY lens. I'm really excited. So let's get started. of the limitations that we have with this lens is it's constantly at an f2.8. So there's no way that I can pull light out, and I don't have the ability to add a filter thread on here. So you're limited with some of the creativity that you have, but this is a step up from a lot of the lenses that you can buy that are the same style, because you can actually focus this and get really close, but also focus to infinity. So I'm really happy with the results of this. Like, here's a perfect example. We'll take a picture of these dead flowers here. There's a really pretty church up ahead. Maybe I'll try and take a picture of that. So, like, that's awesome. See just how close we can get here. I mean, that's great. This is the church that I want to get a full shot of. I'm loving this little 35mm lens. It's crazy. When I first saw this little film camera at the thrift store, I was super excited to go and load some film in it, snap some pics. When I got home and realized that it just didn't work, I was really disappointed. You know, I kind of racked my brain for what to do with this camera for a period of time. And at the end of the day, I am so happy that this camera did not work, because then this video would have never happened. And I absolutely loved this little project. So if you liked this project, then let me know in the comments. If you have one of those disposable film camera lenses, like the Retropia or something like that, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the pictures that I took and how they stack up against the pictures that you take with your lens. And lastly, if you're into film cameras, weird DIY lens builds, storytelling, and all things pertaining to that, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I have new uploads coming every single week. Thanks, and I hope you guys have a really awesome week. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. The fragments of this camera have lived on my desk all week because I knew that this would make for a very cool thumbnail for this video. So if you liked that thumbnail, please let me know about that in the comments. And lastly, I just want to show you something else that I designed for this lens that ended up just not really sticking to the video. I made this little lens hood, and it just kind of clips on the top here. And I just thought it looked cool, but I didn't think it looked like super duper cool. But yeah, I made it in 2 colors. And my original goal was to have this one half open so that you could like still focus the lens with your finger. But it just felt clunky, and it ended up just being, you know, just silly. So anyways, whoa.